Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Brittany and today is another episode of Tea with Brittany. So in today's video, I am also wanting to recognize Japanese Tea Day, which occurs today, October 31st. And the tea that I wanted to try is this new stress-free rose mint herbal tea. I got this because when I put my channel on sabbatical mode about a month ago, I decided that I was going to focus a lot on relaxing and just trying to sort out how I wanted to go forward in 2025 and catch up on my journaling systems, do some projects that I had put aside. So I thought that this tea would be good to have during that time, just to kind of unwind and relax. So I'm going to get this going, and then while it steeps, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about all of that and kind of give you guys a little bit of an update. It smells really good too. Do you guys do that? Do you smell your tea before you make it? Some of them smell really, really good. I'm just going to do my little handle trick here. Although this is a really shallow mug, so that probably doesn't really matter. Then I'll just, hopefully the steam doesn't affect the video. Get my water in there. There we go. It's already turning pink. Very nice. Okay, and then the recipe that I'm sharing with you guys today is something that I became very well known for in my area. It's my jumbo blueberry muffins, and how I became known for it is when I was doing my undergraduate studies, I did a lot of volunteer work, and a lot of it was focused in the healthcare field. And so I would cook for patients, I would bake for them, I would go and visit with them, sit with them so that their family could go out and do things that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. Sometimes I would make like whole meals, like dinners for them. And so this was one of the patients' favorites, my blueberry muffin. So I thought I would share that with you. But the recipe will be in the description box of this video. And then what I've been doing is basically just focusing on self-care, relaxing, organizing for next year, and catching up on my journals. And I explained a little bit about that prior to today's video, about where I felt like I fell off from that. But then there were also a couple of projects that I really wanted to do that my classes and YouTube videos schedule was kind of like preventing me from doing, just because of time restrictions and things. And so I don't think I'm going to be publishing a schedule in 2025 like I did for 2024, where I was doing like Thursdays, Sundays, Fridays occasionally, because I want to continue to pursue those endeavors. And one of them is I am currently doing genealogical research on my family to prove another patriot. When I was in grad school, I worked to get into a lineage society, and I proved that one of my ancestors was a patriot in the U.S. Revolutionary War. And so that was on my paternal line of the family, and I'm going to go on the maternal side now. And I'm really close to proving one. And with that process, I will say the first time I did it, it was kind of, I wouldn't say stressful, but it was kind of taxing in that I discovered things about my family and myself that I was brought up to think differently about. So one of them is I thought that based on how I was raised that I was Irish Italian, and that is not at all true. I'm actually British Scottish with a little bit of German. So that was interesting. And then because I love to learn and research, that just took me on this whole journey where I was trying to figure out traditions and family histories and local histories and like locations of where my family came from. And it was just really kind of enlightening, but also empowering. And it was a whole journey. And that was on my paternal side, my dad's side. So now I'm jumping over to my mom's side. And again, same kind of a process. I'm getting more information, more correct histories. And it's just a great experience because I'm learning more about like where I came from, like maybe why I am the way that I am and have the interests that I have. I did like a DNA kit so that I could learn about traits and things that I inherited. It's just fascinating. So that's really time consuming because part of the process of that research is going into like newspaper archives, looking through family and local history books. A lot of times you have to travel to go to libraries because they're non-circulating books and texts. Sometimes you have to go to historical societies and you need to get special permissions to enter into where some of the collections are held. So that can sometimes be time consuming because you have to have that permission granted and reviewed. And then also, it's not always easy to find the documentation that you need to prove the tie to that person. So that sometimes presents challenges, I should say. But this past weekend, my husband and I, we went and visited a local cemetery where one of my ancestors is believed to have been buried. And we walked the entire cemetery multiple times and we could not find her gravestone. So things like that take up time and they're unexpected. You can't plan for them and you just kind of got to roll with it and go down different methods for getting that information. So that's one project. And then another project is one of my goals that I set up in my bullet journal for 2024, besides learning everything that I've been learning with video editing and YouTube and social media posting, is I wanted to author a book or publish a book. So I have been working on that, and the proof came last weekend. So this is my proof. It is a low content book. I have a little message in the front. It's an art journal. I did white and black text. And so you might recognize the artwork in the background for the cover. This is actually that artwork that I created with you guys on camera. So in a video, it's the one that I did where I made tabs for my Bible journal. And then I also tried to use it in my Hobonichi free journal video to show you how you can use your artwork and the clear covers for those Hobonichi journals. And so in that video, and I'll link them in the description box for you if you didn't catch them, so you can go back and watch it if you're interested. I accidentally cut this down to the wrong size because I didn't check my printer settings before I printed it off. And so I took what was left of that artwork and I cut it into artist trading card size. So this is another thing that I want to explore more and expand upon in 2025. I'm still debating on how I want to do that, but this is what's remaining of that artwork. And then with this book, I'm going to do some more editing with this, spacing and like page layout. And I'm doing this all on my own. I have nobody assisting me, so it takes a lot of my focus and time. But I'm going to change some of the font and the coloring, and then I'm going to order it in a matte cover. This is the glossy cover, and just see which one I like better. And then I'll be publishing this. Hopefully before the end of 2024, excuse me. But if not, I hope to publish it in the beginning of 2025. And so this will be an art journal for anybody who wants to follow along with one of the series that I'm going to have on my channel in 2025. Perhaps my Sketch and Sundays, or maybe my Urban Sketching Interpretation series, whichever one. And then you'll be able to put all of your work into this book. And then aside from that, another project that I've been focusing on is wrapping up my classes. So one of my classes is already over, my drawing class. I really needed a break after that one because that really pushed me out of my like wheelhouse of comfortability and what I knew. If you've been following along on my channel, you know that I've focused my Sketchin' Sunday series this year on florals, and I feel pretty good about drawing and sketching flowers, but next year I'm going to be drawing something completely different for Sketchin' Sundays to kind of keep pushing myself. But in that class though, we did perspective drawing, we did interpretation with still life drawing, we focused on shading, all things that I kind of had done before very, very minimally. And so it like forced me to spend more time on it, slow down, and go more in depth with it. And so for my final projects, because I've already shared project 1 and project 2 with you, I had to watch some videos and then select a scene from the video and do my artwork based on that. It couldn't be like me drawing exactly what was shown in that like scene. I had to like put my spin on it, and I had this whole thing planned out. I knew what I was going to do, but then as like a curveball, the instructor gave like limitations or obstructions, just to kind of be fun and quirky and close the class out on an interesting note. And so one of my obstructions, my 5th obstruction that I was given, was that I couldn't draw a physical representation of a bird, which for the scene that I chose from the movie that I picked, which was the short by Walt Disney and Salvador, I can't remember his last name. It's called Destino. Absolutely love that short. Beautiful music, absolutely beautiful message that's being shown in it. I watched it over and over and over. But the scene that I picked had the birds in it, or a bird, I should say. And I was going to draw a bird with its wings outstretched and then put my infinity cross in the wing pattern of the bird. But because I couldn't draw a bird, thanks to the obstruction, I decided to focus on the infinity cross. And so this is what I came up with, and I chose to do watercolors. I did put my little nod to birds in there. I have a little nest on top of the infinity cross with 3 little eggs, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I have the dandelions. If you've watched Destino, the short by Walt Disney and Salvador, you will know what the dandelions represent. And so I call this Crucified by Love, and I did the watercolors in the background. And then I also did a digital spin of scripture I put across the top once I digitized this, scanning it in. So with the watercolor, I used a couple different things. I do have some magical powder pigments on here, basic palette watercolors. I did do some smearing, and then what I really liked about the color effect is that I still kind of got the outstretched wings of the bird and the light blue or pale purple across the middle going upward. So I was happy with that. But yeah, and I do have this posted on my Instagram if you want to look at it in a less constricting view. I kind of have to move it around so you can see it, but that's what's been going on. Those are the projects I've been working on. And so I'm going to taste this tea now and tell you guys what I think about it. I'll probably keep this. I'll probably trim this and use this tea bag as a pocket in one of my journals. I mentioned that in a previous video, how I thought that was such a good idea. One of my pen pals introduced me to that idea, and I just think it's brilliant. Oh, my cat's playing in a window. He probably saw a bird. That's the joke of the day, the bird. Okay, so I think this is steeped long enough. I'm just going to taste it here. That's pretty good. Okay, so I didn't really tell you about this mug, and I kind of can't show you now. Let me see if I can adjust the camera. Hang on. Okay, maybe at this angle you'll be able to see it if I tilt it a little bit. Okay, so this is actually a Pioneer Woman mercantile mug, and it is part of my tea mug collection. And I don't know if you know Pioneer Woman or not. I absolutely love her. Around the same time when she was becoming really big, I had a food blog, and I shared a lot of my recipes that I made for the patients that I cooked for, and I was going to do videos and stuff then, but it didn't get off the ground because of school and my internship. But that's when I got this mug, and I just ordered it online from the Mercantile store because it is in Oklahoma, and that's quite a distance away. I would love to visit there, though. If any of you have visited, please let me know in the comments. I think that it would be a great place to visit. And then I'm just going to taste my muffin here. And I did want to say too about the muffin, because I'm going to put the recipe down in the description box, is this looks quite dark. I know it's not overcooked. It's because I loaded it up with cinnamon. I really like cinnamon, and the streusel and the muffin recipe calls for it. So I get my cinnamon from Marshall's, and it is a Vietnamese cinnamon. It is so good. It is better than, in my opinion, any of the other brands that you can get. And I don't know if every Marshall's carries it or where they get it from, but that is why it is so dark. You can see the muffin is actually lighter. This is just the streusel on the top that melted down in the side. But I'm going to try this. And it's so good. Definitely am loving that cinnamon. But again, I'll list that below, and then I'm going to have my tea. I hope that you've enjoyed this little catch up. I hope that you like this recipe if you try it. This tea, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I would say that I'm going to have it again for sure. I'm not sure if it's going to relieve any stress. I can't tell you after one sip, but here's hoping. That's what I have for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.